Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today we're lucky enough to have Shiny Joe Ryan on. He is all set to
Hello.
release his second studio album titled Shiny's Democracy out on July 23rd. I've listened, it's amazing, and I can't wait to hear all about it. Joe, thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing?
I'm great, Austin. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, man, you're so welcome. Let's hop right into it.
Yes, sir.
Before we get into the record, I want to talk about the album's lead single, Ketamine. And it's sort of a long wait to finally get a definitive recorded version. To the
Yeah.
best of my knowledge, after getting to witness it live, the song has been floating around for at least 5 or 6 years now. So, what was the process of sort of finalizing the album version?
Oh well, all I really had since back in 2000, I don't know, 14 or 15 or
Sure.
something like that. Was just the chorus, really, chorus and the
Okay.
chords. So I just had to write the verses, and that was the hardest part, really.
Of course.
I find writing lyrics really, I pine over them a bit too much, probably. So
Sure.
that one came fairly easily though, because the whole song is pretty hilarious. I was like, oh, it's not doesn't have to be poetry, mate.
Of course.
Just
Yeah. It's got to make the people feel good.
yeah, exactly.
That's what it's
And
all about.
I have woken up on the dock, uh, and it was around 7 o'clock, and all that sort of stuff is all sort of stemmed from just hilarious things that have happened throughout my life. Not necessarily directly involving ketamine, but
Sure.
anyway, it's I'm glad that was the first single because it's just a lot of fun. And like you said, yeah, I've been playing it for yongers. It's been flying around my head for quite a few years, so it's
Totally.
good to have it out.
I was lucky enough to catch you open for Gum maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and my friends and I we had an idea of who you were, just from like Pond and other stuff. But you really blew our minds with that set. We still talk about it today. We've been singing that song for 5 or 6 years now, waiting for the version to come out. So happy
Oh,
to
terrific.
hear,
Well, I'm
happy to hear the final recorded version, and yeah, it's been stuck in my head ever since.
I'm happy to oblige, and hopefully I'll be back soon. I mean, I've got a six-piece band at the moment, but I might
Wow.
just bring myself over first, because I got a bit of time in the States soon.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, man.
So, from start to finish, as a whole, the record is crisp, it's clean, and it's perfectly psychedelic in all the best ways possible. On the album as a whole, I'd love to hear you talk about the production side of things. Who may have helped you put the finishing touches on, and were there any
Hmm.
complications in the process while making
Yeah, well, I figured because COVID happened. Oh, sorry. All right. So right back just before
it?
COVID
Sure,
hit,
sure,
I was about to go on Tame Impala tour. I roadied for Tame,
sure.
and I was like, if we don't get this done, Jay will be right, and it will become a self-fulfilling prophecy, much like Chinese Democracy, which took
Right,
what, like
right.
20 years to make for Guns N'
Exactly.
Roses. So I got the band together, and then including James Ireland and Jay Watson from Pond, and we all went up the road to my mate's studio and recorded it all live to 1 inch tape.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Um, got all those bounces, and then I was going to take them with me and try work with them on tour. But then maybe like three shows in at the Forum in LA, that's when like we found out that the
Yeah.
entire team tour is cancelled, and we all got flown home. Just I think the day they were locking down everything,
Yeah.
international travelers and stuff. So basically, I had like 4 weeks to sit and mull about it all here in my room. And as they started lifting restrictions, so you allowed one person over, so I'd have one mate come over from the band, we do some overdubs. Then you could have like two people over, so it'd be like three-part harmonies. And then finally, like towards the end, it was all complete, and my poor housemates having to listen to me just play and sing every part like 28 times, and
Oh, lucky
they must
them.
have. I mean, it's nice hearing it all as a whole, but when you're hearing
Sure.
just like, oh, like I don't know, xylophone takes, and I'm not even that good at xylophone, but when you have
Oh,
to
that's
hear it
all
48 times, it's just like, Joe, shut up.
right. Trying to sleep here. Yeah, I get
Exactly.
it. Damn, that must have been
Um,
rough for them, but definitely a little inside scoop on their end.
Man, I'll tell you, we actually dodged a bit of a bullet over here. I mean,
Yeah,
it's the first time, or like the second time ever being in the most isolated city in the world was a good thing, you know.
right.
And then after
Seriously.
all that was done, I just got to say, Jay Watson and James Ireland really just went to town mixing it. They did such a good job. And, Kevin would poke his head in every now and again and be like, really? That's how you're doing it? And then it would just like throw the whole thing up in the air again. So it was great. A lot of fun.
Well, the final product turned out fantastic. It's good that
Thank
you
you.
had some outside eyes on it, but as a whole, it's very you. You know what I mean? It's the direction that I thought that you would go in from the debut, and it all turned out really
Oh, awesome. Thank you. I'm glad you
great.
got that impression.
Yeah,
Sweet.
man. Well, so I'm sure all the songs that are about to be released are special to you in their own unique way or another. But is
Mhm.
there a specific unreleased track that you're most excited for listeners to hear?
Yes, I guess so. This is song. It is the very last song on the record. And it is what is it called? I have the record here actually. Sorry, let me have a quick look. Yeah, I'm singing a new song, part 2,
Yeah,
and
great
it's
closer.
yeah, exactly. It's this long kind of like only piano, maybe a little bit of strings like come in, me singing, and then the guys in the band doing these harmonies, and it just sort of builds. I was listening to a lot of like Nick Cave, that Ghost
Okay.
Teen record
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
just
yeah.
come out, and then it breaks. The drums finally hit, and it goes into like space, and George Harrison's there playing slide guitar and going like, yeah, and it's
Yeah.
this really nice sort of visually audio stimulating kind of outro swirly exit, and I love it. So it's a
Yeah,
lot of
man,
fun.
it's a killer closer for sure. And I think the longest track on the album as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a sick closer. Was there a specific or like I guess biggest challenge while attempting to put this record during the last year and a half? I'm sure there were some complications, but maybe one thing that stood out the most.
I mean, not too much really. I mean,
Uh,
like I said, we actually got pretty well off here when it came to the COVID and all the lockdowns and stuff like that. So we've actually just been running around like it's almost hasn't been a thing. I mean, obviously you couldn't go out of WA or wherever, but
right.
it actually wasn't too bad. I mean, it certainly wasn't painful at
Right.
all. So certainly wasn't painless. No. I mean, it was just a lot of fun. I think the best part, like one of the more memorable parts for me, I know this is not your question at all, but was doing the artwork, the very
Yeah.
front cover. And it's just like getting all my mates, sending out like this blanket text to all my mates, being like, dress up nice, like you're in the 70s, and come down and we'll try and recreate this photo from back in like 74, when our old prime minister got gaffed out of his office.
That's awesome. Yeah, I gotta say all the promo shots for this record have been very nice looking. I love the black and white kind of aesthetic, and same with the album cover.
Have you seen the original photo we were trying to emulate?
I have not. I'll have to check that out. What should I search?
Check it out. Type in Gough Whitlam, Gouff.
Okay.
He was a prime minister back in the 70s, and this whole thing went down where he just got like dissolved, at the parliament.
All right.
And he's like on the steps and everyone's crowded around him with cameras and stuff. It's pretty cool.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, man.
So as far as your process goes, are there any tips or tricks that you could suggest to those starting to make music?
I guess the only tip I could put across is just like maybe not overthink it too much. I've definitely gone through. I mean, it's happened with Pond before. It's sort of easier now that I kind of learned this lesson, but I find that maybe you kind of overthink it and pine over it and hold on to things too long when you should just be like, all right, that's it. Either just like walk away and leave it, or maybe give it to someone you trust to like have a second set of eyes on it and just sort of take it out of your own hands, because you could be just like me on this record, it took like 8 years or something,
So don't be a perfectionist. Just
exactly. Just trust in your abilities and just know that everything you do is just like building on the last thing. You don't have to be Mozart straight up. You can.
That's true.
I mean, Mozart's first album was terrible. So.
All right. So, with the release of Shiny's Democracy and Pond's 9 coming so close together, I can only imagine that these were getting worked on during the same time frame. What's your process behind choosing what to contribute to Pond and what to keep for yourself?
It's usually quite easy. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think in a million years Pond would ever let me put ketamine on a Pond record.
Maybe. I don't know. Iffy.
But the thing with this new Pond record is we went up to the same studio I recorded the
Okay.
Shiny Joe record at, a friend of ours, Tuna Fish, and we actually just recorded onto tape again. But instead of making songs, like coming in with developed full songs,
Mhm.
it just had like a jam or like an idea, and we just like flesh it out for like 15 minutes, just nonstop jamming, trying things, and then we'd come back and grab like maybe 10 seconds of a 15-minute song and make a song out of that, you know?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I mean the new Pond album I'm super super proud of as well. I think it's our best one yet, and it's this really interesting dynamic, just sort of freaky stuff, you know? It's
Yeah,
great.
man. I mean, from everything that I've heard so far, it's definitely a different sound and direction, but it still has those Pond roots to it.
No,
I
absolutely.
gotta
I mean,
say.
there was a couple of songs that I contributed or Nick or whatever, but for the most part it's made up of those jams and that kind of like spontaneous wiggery, you know? It's
Yeah,
cool.
man. Well, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Definitely one of my favorite acts, so should be good times for sure.
Well, I'll hopefully see you soon as well. So that'll be good.
I hope so. I hope so.
Mm.
Yeah, so sort of changing the subject a little bit here at
Hmm.
We Write About Music, one of the main focuses is to really like bring a close eye on independent artists that aren't necessarily getting a name for themselves. Are there any local musicians in your life that you'd like to shout out or that people should be listening to at the moment?
Absolutely. There's this terrific young producer called Bex, Bex.
Okay.
She has just dropped a few singles, and I think she's working on getting putting out her EP.
Sweet.
Um, this band, all girls except for their drummer, and they just like have these amazing dance routines. The songs are baller. It's
Okay.
just like really a lot of fun to watch, and it's interestingly enough, it actually transcends into the music as well.
Hell yeah.
Because
Okay.
sometimes you find it's like you have to watch a band to fully understand them. You know, like the first time I heard the Flaming Lips, I was like, "What is this?" And then I went to see
Right.
their concert, and I was like, "I understand. It's
Yeah.
just all love."
It's an otherworldly experience getting to witness that live for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wayne's
So
got
in
a mind
a
of his own.
oh, absolutely. But yeah, check out Bex. I think she's quite
Okay.
amazing.
I will.
And also a friend of mine who plays in my band New Nausea are just putting out their EP as well. They're like
Sweet.
four-piece, a bit more band, whereas Bex is electronic. So check out New Nausea and Bex, and I reckon that's a pretty good all-rounder of what's going on at the moment in Perth.
Sweet.
Well, only a snippet, but you know,
Yeah,
a good,
there's always something going on. I
of
feel you. You
course.
can't listen to it all.
Yeah, you can try, but by God, I've got other
Exactly.
things to do as well.
All right, man. I've only got a couple more for you. I know you got to head out
Hmm.
pretty soon here.
No worries.
So I want to know, just on the fun side of things, of all the gigs that you played in your life, is there one that stands out the most, or for some reason was the most memorable?
Oh, like as in a Shiny Joe or in
Either.
Pond
Anything
or
you've been a
whatever.
part of.
Let me think. There's quite a few funny little things, bits and bobs and whatnot.
Yeah.
I guess I remember MGMT. Maybe they just dropped like their second album, and they were out in Australia at this place, at this festival that goes around. It's called Falls Festival.
Okay.
Um, and they were also on the bill was what's his name, Neil Finn from
Oh,
Crowded House, which is a New Zealand band, very famous,
nice.
very cool. And our manager Jody met them both and managed to get them to play together, doing a song called 6 Months in a Leaky Boat. And I just ran around stage with a GoPro on a drumstick, just like
All right.
filming everything
On a
while
drumstick. That's
yeah,
hilarious.
exactly. While
Okay.
Nick and Jay actually got in a inflatable boat and just got sent out into this crowd, and you could just see him just getting further and further away, and it was just like See you guys. Bye.
That's amazing. Yeah, that for
Uh,
sure stands out.
oh man, it
That's
was a
too
wonderful
good.
experience. And I didn't tell our manager at the time, but the two brothers who started Crowded House, Neil and Tim Finn, actually had a terrible feud, like Oasis sort of split.
Oh shit.
And 6 months to the Leaky Boat was Neil's brother's song. So, but he's such a good bloke. He was just like, yeah, right, I'll play it. But afterwards, I was like, you do know that that was his brother's song, and it was a lot
That's
of fun.
too funny, man.
Yeah,
All right, I got one more question for you here.
of course. Yep.
Okay, so this is something that I like to close on, and I basically want to know, for the person who is going to discover you from this, and for the person who's going to dive into your unique world of music for the first time, what is an opening message that you'd like to share with them?
That's a good question. Never got asked that one before.
Nice.
Opening message. Have a seat and relax.
Yeah, man. That'll do. Keep an open mind.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
All right. Joe, I cannot thank you enough for your time. I'm so happy that we can make this work.
Yeah, thank you, Austin.
Yeah,
Cheers,
man,
mate.
you're super welcome. For everyone else out there, Shiny's Democracy comes out on July 23rd. Pre-order it, stream it, listen to it, do all the things. And yeah, man, thank you so much again. And I look forward to speaking soon.
I will see you in person probably in LA soon, man. Yeah. Good
Soon
luck.
enough. Soon enough. Yeah, man, we'll speak soon. Have a good rest of your day.
And you too. Cheers,
Bye-bye.
mate.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.